Yet another isolated incident, as the mayor of Freiburg put it, took place in Germany as yet another woman whose sole fault was that she was white and non-Muslim was raped and killed. She also happened to be the daughter of a high-ranking officer of the European Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. But that didn't matter that much in the aftermath, since the establishment reacted with the same old known denial. Let's explore. Hello everyone and welcome to the Freedom Alternative. Now maybe it's about bloody time to start saying it, that those who push for multiculturalism, diversity and progress are not just wrong, but they are evil. There will have to come a time when this absolute insanity will no longer be treated as just another failed, misguided or indeed wrong policy, but as an absolute evil pushed by absolutely evil psychopathic individuals. Because only a psychopath with an evil agenda can look at the stream of cases of rape and murder by diversity against Europeans and conclude that they're all just, isolated incidents. So isolated that this was unheard of prior to, diversity and progress. Coming from the Express, daughter of top EU official raped and murdered in Germany. Afghan migrant admits killing. And goes like this, quote, Maria Ladenberger, the daughter of a high-ranking EU official, was returning from a party in the university city of Freiburg in Germany when she was assaulted on a cycle path. She was raped and then drowned before her body was found in the river Dreisam. The shocking incident happened in October 16, but details have only been released after an arrest on Friday. The suspect, an Afghan migrant, was caught after police found DNA on a scarf near the path. The scarf reportedly belonged to Maria. They also found a strand of hair on a nearby blackberry bush. Officers then trawled CCTV to see if they find people with a similar hairstyle, which led them to the suspect. Following his arrest, the suspect, aged 17, pleaded guilty to the attack and will be sentenced next year. The unnamed migrant arrived in Germany last year as an unaccompanied minor and lived with a local family in the city. Miss Ladenberger reportedly worked in her spare time helping out in refugee homes in Freiburg, but it is unclear whether she ever met her murderer before he took her life. The dead girl's father is Dr. Clemens Ladenberger, a lawyer who works as the right-hand man to the legal director of the European Commission. Now skipping a bit. The horror killing piles more pressure on Chancellor Angela Merkel, who opened the nation's borders to more than 1 million migrants since 2015. Earlier this week, she was blasted by a father of four who said he no longer felt safe because of the migrant influx. But Dieter Salomon, the mayor of Freiburg, warned people not to, quote, apply perpetrator background for sweeping judgments, but to view it as an isolated incident. Now this is what I call evil. Asking everyone to pretend to be blind whilst their people are being terrorized by foreigners brought there intentionally by their leaders is, well, at least in my book, evil. Now, in addition to being demented, psychopathic, insane, and all the other adjectives we've all used in the past and will continue to use for the foreseeable future when describing the establishment. Another way to realize that those who push these policies are indeed evil is through the fact that the parents who are supposed to be grieving aren't at least trying to express any sort of mea culpa or any thought that could reasonably resemble, well, some common sense, frankly. Because let's be clear, her father is one of the people directly responsible for this tragedy. His daughter's blood is on his hands. and on the hands of all German progressives and the cucks who supported them. As far as I'm concerned, the Nuremberg Doctrine does apply here. I was just following orders doesn't cut it out anymore as an excuse. And sooner or later, some of these traitors will have to pay. And pay indeed they will. The only question is whether they'll pay as a result of a relatively peaceful process or as a result of a very nasty and violent process. But payment shall they deliver whether they like it or not. It's merely a matter of time. And basically this is why it is important for the normal people to start using the unpopular methods of agitprop against these people. This cancer of political correctness must not only be defeated, but must completely and utterly be crashed. For good. Also, we must also start arguing on moral character. The left has been doing this to us for years. You don't agree with our policies, then you must be a racist, a sexist, an Islamophobe, or whatever. Basically, you're a bad person if you disagree with the leftist project. Now how about we turn the tables on them a little bit? Anyone who agrees with the progressive project, especially on mass Islamic immigration, should a priori be considered evil. Not merely wrong, not merely misguided, not merely naive, but evil. How else can we accurately describe the apparatchik whose own offspring is murdered as a direct result of the policies he was part of implementing? I suppose brainwashed would do just fine as well, but then again, that's more of an excuse. Now, on a final and more cynical note, the victim was working voluntarily and for free in refugee homes, which in the case of Germany it sometimes means someone else's property confiscated by the state to house diversity in them. In other words, the victim was also part of the problem. And since the victim was 19, well, my sense of compassion is rather limited. As awful as it may sound when I put it this way, it is quite the literal case of you reap what you sow. I would be genuinely surprised to learn that the victim was not part of the refugees welcome crowds that we've all seen last year. So yeah, you kinda do reap what you sow. Just like leftists are reaping what they've been sowing on identity politics with the rise of legit racists. You can't just play with fire in perpetuity without any consequences being rendered upon you. Anyway, I guess that's it for now. I'll be very slow in video production until December 15 because I'm in a place with much slower computers, so rendering a video kinda does take forever. But I will try my best to keep up a decent pace in publishing. So I guess I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers!